Hey dreamers, welcome back to Life Behind the Dream.
I'm Stacy.
I'm like, I don't know who's gonna go first. I'm Ray.
I'm Malika.
And this is
Cory.
This is Cory.
Cory's a photographer.
Yes.
Tell them about yourself.
I'm CT Photo and Design 617 on Instagram. Holla at your boy. Cory Tolbert, originally West Philadelphia, born and raised, but been in Boston for about 16 years. You know the song.
I'm hungry because I don't want to miss the word. Born and raised. Go to my day.
And some people outside of school with a couple of guys. They was no good. Started making trouble in the neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared and said, moving with your auntie and uncle to Bel Air.
Hey,
And when it came near, the license plate said fresh.
Okay,
thanks to the bed. Look at my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air.
I'm happy he did that, but I'm glad he did that. He did that.
Yeah.
That shit felt good. It's Friday the 13th.
These
It
like
sure
time days got
is.
us lit.
It's a full moon outside, so forgive us in advance if we get a little crazy. Hey, we're having a good time, you know.
It's a blood moon too.
Yes, we knew Cory since 2017. We met him at a photo shoot, portrait.
Shout out to Ross the Photo Boss.
Rock the photo boss. Ross the photo boss.
Yeah.
He did a group shoot. I think it was April 2017, and it was at
Wollaston Beach.
Wollaston Beach.
It was 2 years ago.
And all three of us went, but we just found out that only two of us met Cory.
Yeah, I
that
didn't meet Cory that day.
That was
There
my first-
so
one of my
many
first
photographers and so many models. I didn't even get to meet with him because everybody was like spread it out and just like doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was crazy. I actually just met him a few months ago. So and then since then he's just been like my buddy, like team Cory and Ray and Life Behind the Dream too. Like, but yeah, like solely like he's been helping me with my modeling portfolio as well. So like yeah.
He's pretty
Appreciate
awesome.
Oh, y'all are too kind.
Aw, yeah, no, tell us more, about what you do.
Well, funny thing. So I work with a lot of models. The first model that I ever asked to do a solo photo shoot with me was Stacy.
Oh, for
Yeah.
real?
And that was when?
Yeah.
And
So that was
before,
like
after
right
group
after.
shoot?
That was right after the group shoot.
Oh, okay.
And that was at Quincy Cory's. Shout out to Quincy. That's where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that was. So I had shot models before group shoots, but like I was always super nervous before to ask people to shoot. I was like, I just learned.
Solo.
Yeah, like because it can be a lot of pressure. When you go to the group shoots, it's like, okay, you work with somebody for 10 minutes and then you move on. And, if the pictures don't come out, that's okay because they'll get good pictures with somebody. So it's okay. But when you're doing it, when you're spending like an hour and a half with somebody, like, if the pictures aren't good, like, then you wasted that person's time and I hate that. So.
But your pictures, your editing skills, they don't even.
Definitely.
Not even the camera itself, honestly. Yeah. Your shots, because when he initially takes the shot, I immediately look at the photo and it looks like it's edited right there. Like that itself is just like dope work. I don't know if it's the camera. I don't know if it's just your angle. I just don't know what it is. But it's just, So that itself, like, don't beat yourself up with that.
Well, I mean it wasn't always like that.
Oh, you had to progress yourself.
When I met y'all, that was the second group shoot that I'd ever done, and the first one I did, like I was like literally just riding on people's coattails. Like,
have you send Joey some photos? So
we're definitely gonna add some.
Some photo time so we can get your before and after.
Yeah, I can show y'all some before and after, and I mean, and even. On my journey, like I've always I had started with really inexpensive cameras and just would buy and sell equipment so I could get better equipment. I started with Nikon, now I shoot with Sony. And to your point earlier about the pictures, I just try to get stuff right in camera because I'm like I don't have a ton of time to be editing stuff later.
Yeah.
So it's like honestly,
you're really good with like direction.
That's
I'm like, let me know what the fuck. I don't want the double chin.
Is that something that you've always had? Like, you always was able to give models, like, like, put your arm this way, or,
and do you
put your head up,
doing that? Do you prefer a model come prepared, like, with her own
poses and own directions, or do you like a little mix of it, or do you feel comfortable like telling her, okay, you know, tilt your head a little, smile?
So I think it depends, right? So I grew up as a big brother, so I've been telling people what to do my whole life, and then I've been a manager and a boss since I was 21, right? So I've been telling people what to do at work for a long time. So telling people what to do and giving them instruction, and that's been, you know, that's been my whole life. So that part is comfortable. The part where it depends is just really kind of feeling out like the theme of the shoot. Like, was it their idea or was it my idea? Am I trying to make their idea come to life? You know, if it was their idea, they might have a better understanding about the poses that they want to do to kind of meet their vision. If it was my idea, I might have a better sense of it. And then you also just have to read the room. You have to read the people. Like, is this a person that's comfortable with posing, or does she need help? You know, is this a person that...
I always ask for a little direction, by the way. I'm one of those, like, please let me know.
Well, it's funny, you know, we're gonna you know, we're gonna talk about, you know, modeling in a little bit. I got some questions. But you know, just my goal is to make a person feel as comfortable as possible. Because if you're not comfortable, the camera will show it. The camera it magnifies your emotions, it magnifies your fears, it magnifies your confidence. So whatever you have, the camera will magnify it. So it's my job to allow people to be their most confident self, and whether it's me giving them direction to make them confident, or me reinforcing the ideas that they come with, you know, I just want to make people confident.
That's good. That's great.
For sure.
Yeah.
What else?
I have a question for Cory. So, like, I want to know, do you have a fantasy photo shoot that you've actually done before, and do you like have one that you want to do?
Sure.
That you haven't done yet.
Sure. So, I do like to come up, you know, with ideas, you know, for elaborate photo shoots. So, the first time I ever did that was like pretty much a year ago today. I did a photo shoot called Bold Black Beauties, and there were 4 models, 3 of whom were in superhero costumes for the first half of the shoot, and then like black dresses, like nice formal dresses, for the second half of the shoot, and just really trying to illustrate how black women to me are superheroes, and recognizing all that you know, just encompasses. Oh, you're very welcome. You know, in thinking about my grandmother, I was raised by my grandparents, and thinking about the impact that she had on my life, and so many other strong black women. Like, I wanted to do something that kind of reinforces the positive things that black women can do, and the positive impact that they are in the community, but also to balance that with the femininity as well. So that's why, you know, I wanted to sort of do that shoot. You know, and then over the course of the year, you know, I've been able to do other shoots. I just recently did one at Garwin Falls in New Hampshire with all Haitian women. So it was like an all Haitian shoot. I'm not Haitian.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, I'm American. So.
Really? Nothing. What?
So
African American.
So I get that all the time. So growing up,
They be having so many memes and videos about this.
Let's have this conversation. This is
People be saying that about me too.
No, when they say no, I've heard nothing. So when I grew up in Philly, right, like everybody was African American, right, and even like people that I came to find out later, oh, that person was Haitian, like had no idea. Oh, that person was from Barbados. Oh, I had no idea, because it really wasn't a thing. The only people for whom it was a thing was like if you were African, like that was different, and especially if you had an accent. But like if you were from like the Caribbean, like all that got lumped in. Everybody was just African American, right? When I moved to Boston, that's when everybody like, where are you from? What are you? What are you?
So you had to go figure that
exactly. Like, and then you know, I'm like, I'm not trying to do 23andMe when I come to a flag party, I'm just repping the American flag. Now my wife is Nigerian, so that's so, and I go to a Nigerian church. I'm around a lot of Nigerian people, and then I have a lot of Haitian friends. So that was sort of the genesis of that shoot. So I'm able to get, you know, a good sense of culture from from those two communities, but I am American, and I don't ascribe American to be nothing. I'm
Right.
American.
No. I didn't mean it that way.
I know you didn't mean it that way.
I didn't mean like
I know. It's okay. It's all good.
Because I'm American.
Yeah, we're American together.
What's going on back there? Is everything right?
Is everything okay? Side note, something's happening in the background.
But I be feeling that way. People be like, "What are you?" I be like, "African American, Black,"
Yeah.
and they be like, "That's all." I be like, "Yeah," because it's like, you know, we have other stuff in our family, our heritage, but it's like I don't know to what percentage and things like that. You know, and I don't really feel like getting into the point because people be like, "Oh, really? How much?" And then they be like, "Oh,
where?
From
What part?"
Exactly.
I just learned. I didn't just learn, but I recently learned that I'm Native American. I used to just say African American, or I used to fake say I'm Trini because my niece is Trini.
Not fake saying.
No fault. But and then I just was like, you know what? I need to not be living in a lie. So I'm American. I forfeit. But no. But then I'm actually Native American. I'm Cherokee Indian. And then when I get into that, they be like, "What's your You should find out your your name. There's like a name for like these tribes and stuff like that."
Your tribe.
I'm like, I don't know. So that's why sometimes I don't even like to say that. But yeah, but other than that, I get like, "Oh, are you Ethiopian or
I can see that.
Ethiopian.
African?"
Well, I can
some
see-
type of some
yeah.
place in Africa.
Yeah.
I learned a few
I
places.
can
love
see
Haitian.
Somalian.
Haitian.
Everybody thinks
Yeah,
I'm
you can
Haitian.
pass it.
I'd be
Stop
like,
it.
no, I'd be like, sorry.
I'm not
You
sorry.
know, some Caribbean. They
But I'm
obviously-
from here though. Like I'm from America, but my
America.
parents they're not. So basically, my bloodline, like being raised by two, parents who aren't from here. My mom's from Trinidad. My father's from Barbados. So it's just like that's just the culture I grew up in. But going to school and the environment, my friends, like they're all American or like different backgrounds and like people that I'm, surrounded with or surrounded by, they're from different cultures. So, but I'm Trini and Bayesian. I don't be saying I'm American. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't be mixing that, but I'm American. I was born here. I love America.
But see, that's interesting, right? Because I think that people will often sort of mix ethnicity with culture with nationality.
Yeah, right. True.
Like,
There's
and
so
use them
much
as-
categories to.
And it's because like if you say you're American, people feel like, oh, but it's because you don't know your true heritage.
Like you don't know.
You don't know like where your great grandparents are from. And I'm like, my experience is an American experience. They could be. You could tell me tomorrow that they're from Somalia, and what will that change about my experience?
Right.
It won't change anything, right? Like, and I can go to any African nation. I've been to Nigeria. I can go to any African nation and find people who look like me. I can go to Haiti and find people who look like me, right? Like, we all come from the same diaspora, and so I'm like, I've never been one where this person has to fit in this bucket and this person has to fit in that bucket. Like, let's just be black and beautiful together.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
I love that.
Definitely.
Definitely. But for sure. But I'm Trini Baby. No,
There we go.
Just kidding.
All right, I got some questions for you.
All right, I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. So, so my first question, right? So I met all of y'all at a photo shoot, right? So, of the three of you, who says I'm a model? That's how I identify myself. Raise your hand if that's.
Come on, Cory. You already.
No, that's how you identify yourself. I know.
Right about.
Okay, so it's just
there.
right.
Me and Stacy went together. So did you find this photo shoot?
Oh, you're talking about like at
I was
no,
right
just
now, or
it can be right now.
or then?
It can be right now. It
I
can
was
be then,
gonna
but
say.
just who identifies themselves as a model, right? Because we just talked about like cultural identity, but now we're talking about identities that you can choose, right? So
Right.
who chooses of the three of you to identify yourself as a model?
I see.
And why?
Well, you raised your hand first. So go ahead.
Because I'm signed. Like, clearly, that's evidence.
That's
Is that-
yes,
But,
legitimate.
Yeah, I love it too. So I don't know. It's just I consider myself, you know, I do a lot of photo shoots, and I created a portfolio. So
you got a comp card?
Yeah, I have a comp card.
Yeah.
I walk in fashion shows.
She just walked in New York
Right.
Fashion
You better
Week.
not downplay yourself.
Actually, let's take a moment to say
I
what
was
she
gonna
did,
say, what
say
was
her
the
accomplishments. So can you just quickly describe
I
your
know, talk about your
experience?
New York
That was
fashion.
it was really short.
What
and
day?
quick,
Like,
but
what it was in September, right?
September 7th.
Okay.
Yes, I worked with Lucky Ones, Marvell. He's a Boston designer. He invited me out to Boston. Invited me out to New York with a few other models, Boston models. It was fun. And but it was a very short trip because we had to get back, and you know, we really booked and busy. One model, she had to come back for a 2 a.m. photo shoot. Another model just had to get back to work, and I had to get back to work. So we just had to get back to Boston. But that experience was definitely a grateful experience. I loved it. Just that that was the longest runway I've walked. Yep, the longest one. It was like a big ass U, and it was a lot of people there. It wasn't that much, but it was a lot of people there, and I'm just looking forward to more. Like, I'm going to cast to Paris.
I think that definitely categorizes you as a model.
Yeah, like,
and
model
so you're going to Paris Fashion Week too?
Experience.
I'm going to cast for Paris Fashion Week.
But she didn't ask us to book any tickets to go with her.
Y'all knew.
But
Well, actually, I actually didn't tell
Lost in the
anybody
middle.
until like last minute anyway, because it's just like I've been through so many like downfalls and like cracks, like fell into so many cracks, or like I thought like something was gonna happen, then like it just didn't fall through. So it's just like this particular casting, I just kept to myself because I didn't know if it was gonna actually go through. Speaking of, I know it's confirmed. It is confirmed. I got my tickets and everything, but it's just like just me. I don't know. It's just me as a person. I just always am prepared for the. Ooh, that spit was over your drink. Though. It was over.
Wow.
But
I didn't see that.
I always have to prepare.
No, I was looking forward to drinking this.
It was over. But honestly, I think you should just grab another one.
No, for real. I was gonna say, if it didn't go, I grabbed the water.
Just grab another one.
Sorry.
But
sorry.
yeah.
I'm really looking. I trust you. You're not sick.
What color?
Do you want some? No, I'm good. I don't think it went into the drink. It probably just like.
That would have been a good shot. No, but I saw it was over. I missed my train of
You need to
Yeah, so I just didn't tell anybody. I just kept it on the low until it was confirmed because, that's what I was saying, because I just always prepare myself for the worst. Like,
yeah.
Because, I don't know, my hopes been up so high, and then I was just like.
And just like unexpected things happen.
Many things happened before, so I was just like, let me just hold
this.
off. You don't always have to share every blessing, So yeah, but thank you. I'm excited, and it's only a casting, so that's another reason why I'm not trying to like flaunt it all off. I'm not even technically in the show yet. I have to go to Paris and cast to be in the show. So,
well, everybody, please pray for Ray. And vote for Ray if you need any votes.
Vote for Ray.
Where's the president?
Text RAE to 2202 to vote for Ray.
Is that really the number? I was going to say, where did you get that number from?
Okay, I made it up in my head.
Ooh, handled that.
Like a boss.
So Stacy.
Yes.
Everyone knows that Stacy is the shy one of the group. But I choose not to view it as shyness. Stacy likes to read the room, read the situation, see what's going on, and then get in when needed. I like that about you. So here's my question for you, Stacy.
Yes.
So, what are you able to do when we shoot together, when we take pictures and it's just me and you, and you're the only one that's going to be seen in the image? What are you able to do in those moments that's different than when you step back and let other people sort of step up, like in these moments? Like, how do you know how to like just command? How do you figure out how to like just command the image, like when it's just you and when it's your time to shine? How do you do that?
Well, I actually, it's a two-part answer. I actually feel like I not struggle with that, but like I have a hard time with that because I'm not used to being like in the spotlight. Like it's like little me in the spotlight. Like I'm not used to that.
She's all getting hot and bothered right now.
Like, so it's a little weird for me, but since I am the person, like, you know, I would be the person behind the in front of the camera, and I would be the only muse to shoot. I guess I would say I would just focus on how I'm feeling about the theme of the photo shoot and really where I want to transport myself. And I think that's how I handle it. And I try to connect my facial expressions with my mind and, you know, where I'm trying to put myself, depending on, like, if we're at the beach or if we're at a hotel like Malika, you and Malika did, or, you know, anywhere. So that's what I try to do.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Stacey. She's so
I feel
smart.
like this family food. Good answer.
She's so smart.
Okay.
I just want to win the car.
Not Malika.
Malika, you ready?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Now, Malika, this might be a tough one, but you got this.
All right.
Okay. Now, everybody knows, or if you don't, I'm going to let y'all know.
Oh my God.
Malika is only trying to shoot when everything is perfect. Like,
It's a Capricorn thing.
if one braid is out of place, I will see you in 2 weeks. That's how it is. So, since that is Malika, here's my question for you. What is the difference between a model and a person who looks good in front of the camera?
What is the difference between a model and a person that looks good in front of the camera?
Yeah.
Well, so I didn't raise my hand when he asked. And that's where we're going. Like, I didn't raise my hand when you asked. You know, who thinks they're a model in the group? Like, I was like, but it was low. It was low key. But it's like you said, when I feel like I look my best, like literally hair is done. Before we even started the show, I was like, so we're gonna do a photo shoot when everything's done. Like that's how it started before the camera was rolling. But I don't know why I'm like this. Like I feel like it's a Capricorn thing. Like we always want things to be just like kind of not perfect, but just like right. You know, like I want to make sure I look right. And I look right today. I feel like, you know, even though I didn't put no, you know, gel on or anything and just got out of work and stuff like that. And I'm hard on myself too. Like, that's another thing too. It's just like a background thing. Like, I'm hard on myself. But the difference, I didn't even answer the question. I
She was just giving y'all, you know, the background interview.
Giving you an explanation to the answer.
That's why she's my best friend.
to the
She be
question.
understanding from the low, like deep within where I'm trying to, you know, come from.
I love my Capricorns always.
Yes, and I love my Scorpios. You know, I'm surrounded by them.
Real quick, Cory.
Real quick.
I
I forgot what you said.
Now I'm not into
he's not into
astrology.
When's your birthday?
But I'm an Aries. If that's
Okay.
since you need to know.
Okay.
I would have never guessed.
My
Me
little
neither.
sister's an Aries, so you guys are
Me
pretty
neither.
cool. You guys
Pretty
are
cool.
awesome.
Thanks for answering that.
No problem.
That's one of my things.
Yeah, no,
I've
me
seen.
too.
Look, I've seen the show. 3 out of every 4 Life Behind the Dreams got some astrology, so that's okay.
It really this is our life. This is our life. Like I'm always like, so what's his sign?
Well, thank you for being a loyal viewer.
Oh,
a
Yeah,
dreamer.
for real.
Of course.
Oh.
Of course.
On side brackets, y'all.
Nope.
Go
Go ahead.
No, son. So the difference between a model and somebody who looks good in the camera, I guess you're trying to come at me. Because I do feel like I'm a model sometimes, you know. I want to say like a model, role model to younger people. And so I can call that like me being a model to people who are watching me or people like who I interact with. Because I really do get like a lot of younger people who come up to me and be like, oh my God, like your eyebrows are bomb. Like, how did you do that? Or your hair looks nice. Or like outfit questions or just like the way how I carry myself. Like a lot of young girls come to me and like ask me for advice and stuff like that. And I feel like that can be your modeling a behavior or modeling an attitude that, you know, people can follow. You know, influence them. So I feel like, why are you like this? Okay, so we've been sipping some wine. Okay.
Well, let me join the
It's been a long day, a long week, and we're just loosening up a little bit. But still get the message, you know. I feel like I'm a model that way as being a role model. I also feel like,
being a role model.
I also do feel like, you know, I look good in the camera too, and I could be a model, like, I don't want to say fashion, high end, like runway, like Miss Ray over here, you know.
Never
Maybe
doubt
because,
yourself.
like,
Of
and
course
I
you
can't
can
say
do that.
I can't do that, but my energy isn't going towards like being a model too. I feel like if I really wanted to go hard, I really could go hard and be a model, but I don't know, like I like my little life. I like being like low key in the bag and like slowly doing things behind the scenes, you know, and like being a role model to other people, answering questions. I'm more of a like talker when it's very private or very like personal, you know.
Sure.
So that's my answer.
Good answer. Now, the reason that I asked you that question last, right, was because of how we started when I asked the question of who's a model. Because part of the reason that you didn't raise your hand is because I know.
You saw
I
me.
saw you. I
Okay,
was
like, please.
I thought I was in the movie Ghost. I thought somebody was like, I was like, what's going on? I thought Patrick Swayze just came in.
You know what?
But no, but I can feel it. I can feel that y'all were like, well, Ray is the most model.
The most.
So only one person can be the model. So it's gonna be the most model in the middle, right? So I'm telling you, I can feel
I can sense it.
I can
When you
sense
ask the
energy.
question,
I can
who models the most? Yeah.
No, but that wasn't the question. I said who identifies as a model, and y'all looked at each other and y'all like, Ray, we all know Ray is a model, and I know how I follow all y'all on Instagram. I know your activity, so I know the answer to the question. But I asked it, and part of the reason I asked it is because when people are in groups, they feel like, well, if Ray is the model, then what am I? And what is Stacy? And what is Malika if Ray is the model, right? So that was part of the reason why I asked that question, because the question of identity is an interesting one, right? Like, so if Ray is the model, then does that mean that like no one else can be?
Right.
Yeah.
I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, so like that's, but sometimes you have that, right? People turn identity into competition, right? Like, so if I say I'm a model and I'm not signed, then you say that you're a model and you are signed. Am I less of a model?
I was just joking when I said because I'm signed, but that is just proof because like I am a model. Yeah. But it's just funny because I had a disagreement with another model that he had said something on his story one time, and it's just like it was like a competitive thing, and this is when I wasn't signed at the time and he was, and actually to the same agency, and he had said something like, it was very general but it was just very ignorant, arrogant, and it was just like, if you're not a basketball player, if you're not in the league, you're not like an artist, you're not a singer, if you're not like, pretty much if you're not getting paid for what you're doing, you're not what you say you are. And I was just like, hold the fuck up. Like, before you got signed, what did you consider yourself? Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a basketball player is a basketball player if they consider themselves a basketball player. If they're working, if they're playing basketball and they're working, because you know there's levels to this shit. You always gotta start small. Like, you don't, because I want to be a basketball player, you don't get signed tomorrow. Because I want to be a model, I don't get signed tomorrow. Like, it took me a whole year to get signed. You know what I'm saying? It's work. So if that's something that you're working on and you're actually putting yourself out there as such and such, then that's what you are. Like, don't let nobody tell you no different.
And I think for us, like, why me and Malika hesitated on that question is because, like, we don't really identify ourselves as like sometimes we could feel like we are models, and like sometimes I am a model, like, because when I get behind the camera and do photo shoots with photographers, that's what I am. Like, what else would I be? Being behind, in front of the camera.
When you're taking photos, that's what you are. That's model.
I think we hype Ravel up to like on a pedestal, kind of, because that's where she should be, because that's her passion. But that's her passion. So she does it like more than we do, and we see that the way she feels about it, like, and we don't feel. I can say that I don't feel the same way about modeling that she does. So I think that I live. I want to say a word that starts with a V. Yes. That I live vicariously through Ravel's like modeling. So I mean I would never see myself like walking in fashion shows and stuff like that. Not because I don't want to, but because I want to express myself in a different way. But I hype Rayvella because it's like I'm so proud of her,
like,
and I don't know everything about modeling.
Yes.
But I know like what it takes and what you have to do. So.
And it definitely didn't feel like a competitive question either, you know, like when you asked, like, that didn't, like, come across it didn't come across me, you know. I was like, for sure, Rayvel's definitely the model in the group, but I also was going to raise my hand with the whole, you know, I do feel like behind the camera, like, I feel like, you know, when I dress up and I look nice, like, I could be a model, but I could be a model wearing this today, too, you know, but, like, still right now, I don't see that for myself personally, because, like I said, I'm not working towards, like, modeling right now, you know, like, I'm doing other things, you know, I'm more like fitness and like, influencer, like, I'm a role model, you know, like, I feel like, don't follow me, don't
role model,
don't follow me, role model, you know, but like,
I'm a role
hilarious, like, you know, I feel like I could be an actress, you know, or people could model that way, you know, or be an actress, be a comedian.
There's all types of different forms of modeling.
Definitely,
like,
for sure.
I'm looking at this this CD thing right there. All those pictures, those are all models considering on the cases.
I could be a Mike's Hard Lemonade model.
Right, exactly.
So,
Hello.
mean, like, yeah.
Anybody Poland Spring? You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like,
I got a little thirsty. I got a little thirsty.